Hello everyone, it's Brian Ruiz, and I'm here at my light table showing you some new samples. But one of the hottest samples that I want to talk to you about, and one of the applications, is actually like color books, books in general, book publishing, books for education market is really hot right now with inkjet printing. And I wanted to share with you some great little applications, some samples, some of the things that we're doing with our inkjet devices, and some different type of ways to do books. So, first of all, I want to make you aware that Xerox has this new set. This is kind of cool inside the education market. Go ahead and message me if you want one of these. But really what it is deep drive, deeper learning with color. And so what's happening right now, especially with in these times of the pandemic and students needing to work from home and being able to do distance learning, paper and printed workbooks, curriculum, everything that goes around that. If you work for a school district, the consumables aspect is very critical right now in order to get these workbooks inside children's hands. And I know that for a fact because I have four kids of my own. I have four boys, all in first, second, kindergarten, pre-K. So I live this daily. And so, one of the things that we're really making awareness with is the capability to print color workbooks in full color. And so that's driving, a better way to learn when you could see, the different colors of what they're trying to do, especially at their young age. So Xerox has always been on the forefront in the education market in the K-12 space. And so really one of our strongest suits is in the Xerox inkjet space for the Baltoro Inkjet Press. So this is the press that's built off the iGen. And really what we've been able to do is make a inkjet press that is fast, reliable, easy to use, plug and play in many different environments, but it gives you the low cost of color. So it allows you to pretty much almost, bring in color in a shop for almost about the price of you would print for black and white. So this is a great collateral. And if you open it up, it talks about, full color print, in regards to retaining information. It talks about the samples that we have as part of this. So we have a bulletin sample. We have a math workbook sample, newsletter, report card, a science textbook. So it has the pictures of the samples. There's the actual samples printed on the Baltoro Press. So you can see right here is the bulletin just on a 20-pound media. So you can see the quality in that using the high fusion ink. And you think about the cost to print this in comparison to laser printing. So on a laser printer, if I typically try to feed this in or print to this on a 2-side 8.5 by 11, you're probably spending roughly about 8 cents for this sheet. Two sides, 4 cent roughly in impression, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But you're about 8 to 10 cents for this one sheet here. On inkjet, it's going to be about 1.50 or less. So that's the big difference on inkjet printing, is that it could be upwards of, I think I've seen some of the jobs that I've analyzed, upwards of close to about 90% less expensive than traditional laser printing. So that's the bulletin. So then this is the workbook sample. So we got the workbook sample here. And then on this workbook sample, so this talks about what time is it. So it's black and white, little time, you fill it in. So very typical. And there's, lucky penny. So they put in, you know, how many pennies. So this is very similar, but it has color. It has black and white. What's really nice too with the Baltoro Press, which is really catching on in a lot of these type of samples, if you are just have long runs in black and white printing, you could actually cap the heads and go in a black only capped mode, and you could actually get a reduction of your costs in black and white only printing. So the Baltoro is the only press in the industry in its class that could actually cap the CMY heads. And there's a lot of benefits to that in regards to reliability, productivity, and cost. So the other samples they have here is, so this is a math lily pad. So it has a color, makes it more interactive. When I look at it, it has an example in color. So that one. This is a big one. You know, apples, oranges, and lemons. It's funny, I was walking through a shop and they were printing a lot of this curriculum books, but all these, something similar like this, was all black and white. So, you know, it's very hard for young children to learn because, you know, when they're visual, they want to be able to learn because the lemon's yellow. It's not just about saying 1, 7 or 3, but they're also putting in, okay, 3 apples, right? Apples are red, oranges are orange, lemons are yellow, right? So this is all part of that learning experience. So again, you know, what's going to be more productive for students? Something in color like this or black and white printing? And so that's the beauty of what the Inkjet does. It gives you this color at, you know, costs that are more in line with black and white printing. So you got a notes page, very typical. Here's something that I see a lot. And this is graph paper, but on this graph paper, it's blue. So again, you print something like this, it's going to cost you 8 cents out of a laser device. And something like this is going to be less than a penny out of an inkjet device. Probably on something like this, maybe 7/10 of a cent or less. So another example, okay, very important. You know, when you look at the sun and Mars and planet Earth, it just helps with going through that. Here's subtraction. So you could see it's in the different colors. Odds, evens. So, you know, that makes a big difference in regards to, you know, that math workbook there. So here's some other apps. This is actually on a coded media. So one of the advantages on the Baltoro Press is you have the capability to use high fusion ink. And that's what that ink is. It's high fusion. So we could actually print on a wide variety of different substrates, including coated substrates, different weights. This is 100-pound satin substrate. So 100-pound satin, a pretty, you know, a nice stock. And you can see the quality using our 1200 DPI inkjet heads. And then we have the capability of selecting different drop sizes. So depending on, you know, what you're trying to control from a cost and quality, you actually have really in real-time controls to say I want a smaller drop for lower cost, or I want a max drop for a higher quality, depending on the applications and what you're printing. So this is on a code of stock, a nice little newsletter with pictures in there. And again, you get the value of Inkjet, which is low cost, high reliability. And then the value of the Baltoro is the high fusion ink, high resolution, a workflow that's just plug and play. It's cut sheet, small size, very flexible in the finishing, and everything you'd want out of a printer. Here's another sample. So this is what they call, this is a report card. So this is where you could get creative too, right? If you have full color, you use variable data and information. Xerox is on the forefront of variable data printing with our X and Pi solutions, but you can even do something like this where it says to the parent guardian. This is actually a nice sample. I'm going to talk to my school district. But they have the name of the student, what grade they are, their picture there because they take pictures or so forth. They have the performance tracker all in color, and then the different scores, the report card for English, math, science, and so forth, and the grades. So here's the back, talks about maybe some pictures. So again, very interactive. If a student does really well, they get something like this. And again, the school's not spending 10 cents for this page, but they're spending about a penny or so. So that's a big difference from a cost standpoint. So then you could actually do things like this and not worry so much about the cost involved depending on the students. You're creating documents and information that's going to help the students be proud for what they do, and the parent involvement. That's a nice application. And then here's some more silk, satin stocks, coated medias, lightweight, thicker medias, on like a book. So this looks like it's a science book. So you can see the quality of that. And again, this is coated media. So, this is a lot better, and this is a real thin stock. I don't even know, 60-pound silk stock satins. So again, you get the quality and the vibrancy of the print, coated media, but a lot better than a black and white. So this is the sample deck. I think that's all the pages. Okay, there's one more page in here. Okay, so this is good too. This talks about Omnia Partners, one of our partners. So if you are looking to join a group for, that's already done a lot of the research on the products, that have negotiated pricing to make it easy for you to acquire them as part of a cooperative. Omnia Partners is one of the organizations we work with. The Baltoro Press is already actually on their purchasing agreement, so you could go to their website right there. But they did this nice little write-up on where, color is really going to help, the classroom, on how to, make color accessible in the print and education. And so they've put their endorsement on this, working with Xerox, especially with, what we're doing in the education industry. Talks about, why color is important and what you could do and the benefits. So again, this is part of this sample pack right here. And this just came out. So this is, as they say, hot off the press. So drive deeper learning with color. So, that's this sample of what we're doing in education. We also have the Design for Success guide. So, as you transition to color, how to set up jobs, applications, if you're going to get into, these books, what Xerox really does is really help our clients be successful with the products. It's great that we have great printers doing all this great work and high quality, high reliability, ease of use. But if you don't really know how to drive the applications, manage them, and automate it, it's just like any process, it could get frustrating. So, what Xerox has really done is we put together this nice, collaterals on how to maximize that investment on Inkjet, how to design, set up, automate even further. And then we have full local staff on how to do that. We have, our capabilities with a full white paper and workflow. And we even have the software that comes with, our presses like the Baltoro on the free flow side with free flow core and free flow print server that can automate a lot of these tasks. So if you see right here as an example, is that right here on the top is all the tasks you would do for this example here. all these steps, all these touch points, all these times. Then we automate it, with free flow core, and pretty much, no touches, comes out, all done, all set up, ready to go. So this is a great collateral. It talks about colors, it talks about inks, it talks about spot colors and design tips, operating, how rich blacks and solid areas work in Inkjet, understanding exactly what your goals are in printing and how to get the best quality, and setting up the device so it operates the way you want, right? So we have something here called setting up for success. So it's just, in regards to pre-flighting and managing color and imposition and proofs and even estimating cost. This is something that a lot of people just think, oh, okay, Inkjet's, inexpensive and that's it. But, if you really don't understand your costs, then it could really catch up with you. And you could be losing a lot of money. You could be misquoting. You could be, not understanding your true cost of manufacturing. So we provide a full suite of tools that actually help that. And we actually have even some training collaterals on if you're trying to price, based off of value. We have that capability to do that also. And just a whole checklist of things to help you out. So that's designing for success. And then you have inside this workbook, there's a brochure for the Baltoro High Fusion Inkjet Press, which is our number one, or it's the industry's number one sold cut sheet press right now, from an installs. And you could, there's the reason why. It's fast, it's easy to use, it's highly reliable, high quality, and it has the lowest cost of total manufacturing when you figure in footprint, size, speed, operation, automation of what it does. It's really plug and play. Think about the quality is, that high fusion ink. Here's another new sample that we've done on the Baltoro High Fusion Inkjet Press. And so you can see the quality there of the 1200 DPI, true 1200 DPI with the capability for object-oriented image quality capability. So we could actually look at, the text, we could look at images, and we could actually change drop sizes and where those drops are placed based off the print file. This is a great sample on the Baltoro High Fusion ink because it actually has a lot of different types of medias and substrates, coated medias, silks, satins, and so forth, different weights of medias. You can see that excellent quality on all these different substrates. And what's nice is you have a lot of the similar pictures, so you can see the effects of Inkjet that has on the different substrates. That's one of the beauties of Inkjet versus maybe like laser printing, where Inkjet really embeds itself into the paper. So you actually take on a lot of great properties of the paper where people like. If you're going to make an investment in paper and something you want, that looks more shiny and has a silk look versus a matte, you don't want, when you print, it all look the same. Then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of, matching the paper with the application. What's beauty of Inkjet, if you put it on more of a shiny silk satin stock, you're going to see that shine come through. If you put it more on an uncoated matte or an uncoated stock, it's going to have that more uncoated appearance. So again, that's the benefit. So again, just sample after sample of silk, satins, coated medias, uncoated medias. Half of these are all different coated medias that are approved to run on the Baltoro Press. And it's short. It's been out on the market for about 9 months now, the Baltoro. And we already have, I think, over 300 approved medias. And that's just because of that high fusion ink allows it to, print on a lot of different media. So this is another sample kit. Feel free to reach out for this. And then I have a bunch of other like high fusion samples of what Inkjet's doing. So we have something like this on high fusion on coated silk media. So this is kind of like a little coupon book that we're doing with high fusion inks. We have, here is a children's book, HarperCollins children's book, using high fusion inks. So Inkjet, there's a reason why Inkjet now I think is over. The last metric I saw maybe on one of the online or a website from one of the industry analysts, I think it's over 70% now of all digital pages is printed on Inkjet. Well, this is the reason why. Look at the quality and the consistency you get out of Inkjet. It's just amazing. This is high fusion ink. This is on a silk stock coated media, just a offset coated media. Another. So this is coated media again, 115 GSM. Paddington Bear, I know that one. So different types of books. This is another high fusion. It's like a magazine. Work journal. Books. And what's really good about the Baltoro Press, we could do all this finishing in line. This is an uncoated media. What media that is. So we could do all this finishing in line. 3-knife trim, booklet. We could do perfing in line. Cutting in line. Perfect bind in line. So a lot of great opportunities. Then we get into bigger workbooks, perfect bind in line, CP Borg. So this is high fusion on silk and satin media. So that's coated media. So nice workbook using the high fusion ink. And it prints on all these coated medias that I'm showing you at this quality, like the Baltoro, without any primers, pre-treatments, or any type of treatment on the paper in order to get that inkjet to stick. So another perfect bind example. Inkjet, it's on a coated media. This has some nice pictures in there. So all inkjet printed. Here's another book. So just got, and this is all coated also on the insides. So coated media, the silk stocks, high quality. This is using high fusion inks. Student workbooks again. So student workbooks, I said it's a big one. So this is coated media also, silk. We could do all this perfect bound inline on the Baltoro Press using this high fusion ink. So again, just a bunch of different books, applications, ways to do it. Even if you wanted to do like some covers, or if you wanted to UV coat, these are some samples of UV coat on inkjet. So you could even UV coat inkjet. And specifically when we get into high fusion, because we could print on coated media, which coated media is needed in order to really do like the UV aqueous coats. Here's a soft touch coat, different types of AQ, so it doesn't have as much of that shine. A matte coating, then here's a high gloss. So that's a benefit of high fusion ink, is that we could do these specialty coatings also to really add that additional pop and a new dimension on inkjet printing. So again, these are all the different applications. The main printer that's driving the success right now is the Baltoro High Fusion Inkjet Press. Plug and play kind of workflow, built off the iGen technology, proven product. 14.33 by 20.5 inch sheet size. Full capability for like 25 plus different finishing devices, all in line. I could even put a roll fed Tech Now in front of it, so you could go roll fed in, cut sheet book production out of a perfect bound book, something similar to this, perfect bound with a 3-knife trim on the perfect binding, all automated with one device, all in line at high speeds, low manufacturing cost. So thank you very much. Subscribe to my channels, send me a message or note. Let me know if there's something that you'd want me to do a video on, but greatly appreciate it.